Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Here we are again for another vlog, my friends. We're starting off with a little trip to the thrift store. Now, I don't know if you guys saw my previous video. I will link it with a little card, but one of my goals this year is to try to go to my local thrift store at least once a month because there are often really good finds, and I really get mad at myself when I let so many months go by without having visited. So I got this awesome mug for my oldest puffling last time I went. So this is my babykin's first haircut. His hair is actually blonde, but it doesn't look it in this light and it's all wet, but I actually gave him his first haircut. I struggled with it, but I finally did it and we were all super happy with the results. I know this looks scary and dangerous, but he was perfectly fine and I was within arm's reach right there. And I was sketching and doing a little doodle of an avocado family. So I'm just going to sit and relax, tell you guys a little bit about what's going on and what I'm doing. So as for the artwork, I'm just doing a quick, simple marker sketch in my sketchbook, and it's going to be, like I said, of an avocado family, mom, dad, and baby. I have to say I really love doing marker illustrations, but I absolutely hate this ugly, streaky in-between phase. And it's annoying when you have to wait for the paper to dry so it doesn't ball up. Okay, so in case you guys didn't hear in another previous vlog, whenever I insert food, I show you guys the vibes, but really it's stolen footage because I didn't make the food. My oldest puffling made the food. She's doing a cooking and baking section in school, and obviously we are in a baking zone right now. This is me going to treat myself to some apricot jam because apricot jam is my favorite. So if you're busy and you don't have a lot of time, I highly recommend getting into the habit of doing quick little doodles and illustrations that you don't mind getting interrupted with and having to come back later. So for example, my little avocado family, I have to wait for the paper to dry anyways, because unfortunately, this paper is really prone to balling up. Some paper is more friendly and enduring of acrylic paint markers, and unfortunately now I know that this isn't, but it's okay. I'm going to power through. It's not terrible, it's not the worst I've ever dealt with, but I am a little disappointed, so I have to be extra careful. Can you guys guess which one is my favorite? I'm happy with the whole spread, but I actually really love the little baby. I'm happy with how everything turned out. I'm really happy that I swatched my colors on the side, but like I mentioned before, I don't think I'm going to be using acrylic paint markers with this paper anymore because the paper balls up. The moisture causes this to happen, but you know what? The paper feels great and it's great for dry media. So I'm going to show you guys something really exciting. Just look.
Hey, hello, it's me. So right now I'm making bacon and the heat's off. I'm just letting it sizzle to try to get uncooked spots. Heat off and the sizzle sound, it's nice.
Okay, so what's so exciting about that? Well, number one, my middle child was making food for himself and he's a super picky eater and he's been eating more and more foods and being more adventuresome. So speaking of adventuresome, I have been debating for about 2 years to paint my iPad. And what I'm showing you guys here is the reason that my little paint jars are full of blue paint is because I do my little beaches and there's spillage that happens on the containers. So I don't want people asking me why. I'm answering why. So this might seem like impulse, but I have been considering doing this for about 2 years. And unfortunately, white just gets gross. So I figured I'm going to paint something on it and enjoy my case and personalize it. And I decided to take a little sketchbook that my daughter made me a few years ago, and I made a doodle in there, and I'm going to put that doodle with paint markers on to the back of my little iPad case. So for the rest of the video, you guys are going to see me working on this little project. It took me quite a long time because I work very fragmentedly because I don't get a lot of time to myself. Unfortunately, my little guy has been giving me a really hard time. And he often doesn't nap. And often when he naps, he wants to be napping on me, and he doesn't sleep very much at night either, often waking me up and not sleeping the amount of time that he needs. Side note, my oldest made this, and I'm talking about my kids and I love them, so it's so appropriate because it's a heart-shaped pizza. So back to what I was saying, the reason I was rejoicing about my middle child and saying what I was saying, that I'm interrupted and I don't have a lot of time, is because all of my children are neurodivergent and I'm very worn out and I'm quite exhausted, and I use art as therapy. That's the long and short of it. That's pretty much the crux of my channel. I've been using art for therapy for years. And some people, they make Legos like my middle son. Some people bake, some people read, but my thing to relax me is making artwork. Some of it I make just for myself for fun, and then other times I sell it. Exercise is my second thing that I do. When I have a little bit of time, I exercise just to help regulate myself. So I ship off my packages like you just saw there, and sometimes I just do stuff for myself. But that's why I'm making an art channel, because really it's just therapeutic for me to have a creative outlet. So even though you guys see a polished video and footage, often it'll take me weeks to make it. But you know what? It's okay. I'm just in a really rough season, and I'm sharing about it because I know I can't be the only one. There's no way I'm the only one. But not every day is hard. Some days are very joyful and full of fun and laughter, and other days they're full of meltdowns and crying and tantrums and biting and head hitting. And that's mostly just from my youngest. So the good news is I know there are better days ahead, and I just have to draw close to God, increase my faith, and be patient. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. Glitter really makes everything better, and even though this isn't dry, I'm already loving the glitter effect that makes it look like snow. So something that always brings me peace and happiness is birds, and I'm going to link that video. Like I said, I'll do it in the description and in the card. But one of my goals for 2025 is to draw more birds, because I love birds so much. Sometimes I'm really down in the dumps. I'm having a bad day. My spirit feels worn out, and I can see a picture of a bird on Pinterest, on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and it really just brightens up my heart and it brings me joy. And that's what we have to do. We have to find things that we're happy for and that we're thankful for. I really, really love birds, and so does my Mr. Middle. And maybe it's because, I don't know, they're just so pretty and different and special and amazing. And when I end up looking at birds and thinking of birds, it often reminds me of a Bible verse about birds. It's actually Matthew 6, and it talks about not worrying. So Matthew 6, verses 25 to 27, it says, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life?" So that really encourages me. Here's my little painting dry. It looks so good. I'm so happy, and it cheers me up. I'm really happy that I used that little sketch from that little sketchbook that my oldest made me, and I ended up using that sketch and transferring it on. So glad. Life is full of a variety of seasons, and even when it's hard, just know you're not alone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I see you in the next video. Have a lovely day. Bye, everyone.